ghosties. I have 3 stories today. Here's all of my social media, so go follow it. I'm being active on everything a little bit. Once we get Wi-Fi, I will start streaming again, so I'm excited for that. Please like this video and subscribe if you would like to join my cemetery of ghosts. My camera randomly stopped recording, so that's a little bit weird. I hit 250 subs, so I am halfway to 500, which is really exciting, and I wanted to tell you guys that when I reach 1,000 subs, I am going to give away one very big, very special boo basket to one of my subscribers. I'll pick them out from my list of subscribers. I might make 4 little extra ones from the extra little stuff that goes into the main boo basket, for just so I don't feel bad, because 1,000's a lot of people. I appreciate everyone that subscribes. I would also like to shout out one of my very good friends who I will be making a little bit of my vlog with next Tuesday, but then the Tuesday 2 weeks after that we'll be having a whole huge fun crazy vlog, so you guys buckle up for that. If you guys like to watch my silly little videos and my silly little vlogs, go over to her channel and watch one of her videos and check her out. And subscribe. Let's get into the whole reason you guys came to watch my video, my stories. This first story is titled Ghost Sitting on My Front Porch, and it is from user BookGnomeNoelle. I feel ridiculous about this story, but something came up that makes me want to share it. Over a week ago, I was coming home late from a friend's house, and I was fairly tired by the time I pulled onto the road to my house. As I got close to my house, my attention was fixed in the front of my house. I have a small front porch with a light that turns on at 7 automatically. And there's a small table I decorate up for the holidays, and a small plastic chair in the corner. And as I was pulling up to the house, it looked like a man was sitting in the chair. I was around 35 yards away from the house at this point. What I could make out was a thin man with pale hair sitting down, facing the road. At first I thought it was my dad because he has dementia and it could be difficult to get to the porch safely in some areas due to soft dirt. But as I got closer, it looked like the man was younger and had darker hair. I was already trying to figure out what I was going to do about some stranger on my front porch. But as I turned my vehicle into my drive, the car lights washed over the porch, and suddenly the chair was empty. The only thing I could think to do was sit there for a moment to try and understand what had happened. And part of me wanted to believe pareidolia and exhaustion hit to create what I saw. So I was shaky as I gathered my stuff and ran inside, effectively smacking my foot against a wooden post that makes up my front porch cover and possibly breaking my toe. But that's another story. And I was telling myself my brain made it up. But the next day I was telling my mother what had happened. I live on my parents' property, so my mother can see my porch easily. She admitted she has seen shadowy figures standing on my porch and had thought a man was sitting on my porch a few weeks before. Not only that, but she'd heard a man's voice at my door one evening when I was out. I'm single, so she thought maybe it was one of my brother or guy friends. She said no one was there, but she heard him talking when she had barely taken a few steps inside my home. I didn't know what to make of any of that, but last night I saw the man again. I had moved the chair out of the corner, still thinking I had seen things. My mind was on spring rolls and some TV when I got home late last night from work. So when I pulled up to my driveway and I saw the man sitting there, I made sure to turn my lights off before pulling in. This time, I know I saw him. Thin man with a thin face. Grayish brown hair and wearing a burgundy shirt. He was sitting there again, staring at the road. I sat in my car staring at him for almost a minute and then turned my lights on. And like before, he disappeared. But this time I could see him disappear. There was nothing behind him that could have caused pareidolia because my house has off-white paneling. So now I have no choice to believe my mother's encounters. I already know my house is haunted, but I've never seen a male spirit before, and it makes me a little uneasy. Oh my god. I'm not wearing my glasses, so it's so hard to see right now. But seeing a guy disappear in front of your own eyes is insane and awful. I would move so far away. I'm so excited for the 28th. That vlog is going to be so awesome. You guys better be ready. Turn on my post notifications, by the way, so you can get notified about every time I post. Let's get into the next story. This next story sounds terrifying, and it is titled Screams in the Neighbor's Backyard Shed, and it is from user greenkachina. After I went to college, my little brother still lived at my mom's house. Late at night, when she was asleep, he would sneak out into the driveway to smoke a cigarette. He did this a lot, and one night he was out a little later than normal, around 3 a.m. Right across from Mom's house lived an older couple who traveled a lot, and on this night, they weren't home. They had a big backyard with a lot of mature trees, shrubbery, and outbuildings like a chicken coop and a couple old sheds. As my brother was sitting out there, he heard a scream coming from their backyard. It sounded like a man yelling, as if in pain, very guttural and primal, but muffled and distant. My brother was petrified. The screaming continued for a few moments, then stopped. He said he had this horrible feeling like he was terrified of it, instead of worried for whoever it was. So he went back inside the house and tried to forget about it. A couple weeks later, he was back outside, around 3 a.m. again, and at the exact same time as before, he heard the screams again. It sounded the exact same as before, and again, he was absolutely terrified. Several weeks later, the woman who lived in that house was taking a walk while my brother was outside. She stopped to say hi, and my brother decided to tell her about the screaming. She chuckled and said yes. When they moved into the house years ago, the children who had lived there had told them the backyard shed was haunted. Pretty creepy. This is the closest I have gotten to having my own ghost story. Figured I'd share it. That is terrifying, and that is so awful. I love it when spooky stuff happens at 3 a.m. because I love the witching hour. Oh, by the way, guys, we were taking care of all these, little sisters, and there was, a knock at the door, and then there was this old bald guy standing outside, and, he was being like, I can hear you guys in there, because we weren't answering. It was terrifying. So, there's my story. Let's get into the next story and the last one. This last story is titled, The Little Boy from the Woods is Back. It's from user constant_rest_2852. For context, this story took place about 13 years ago when I was 6 years old. I was at my aunt's house, and me and my cousin, 12 female, my older brother, 13, and my twin brother, 6, decided to go play in the woods. We did this a lot as kids, so it wasn't out of the ordinary for all of us to take off into the woods randomly. I loved the woods as a kid. Anyway, me and my cousin went a little farther than the boys, to this small cave we had found one time. That part isn't really important, but it is important to know that we were up higher than the boys. We started heading back to where they were. The boys started throwing acorns at us, just messing around and having fun. They had hidden in this old shack they found, so we couldn't throw anything back at them. Still, nothing weird or out of the ordinary, just kids playing. Suddenly, we heard our aunt calling for us. Me and my cousin started walking down the hill towards the boys when they came out of the shack. Right behind my twin brother was this little boy, about our age at the time. He was blonde and wearing older style clothing. I specifically remember his shirt was light blue and his pants were dark. I was confused because I'd never seen this boy before, so I turned to my cousin and asked, "Who's that boy?" She looked at me confused and said, "What boy? Your brother?" I said, "No, that blonde boy behind my brother." And she just stared at me and said there was no boy there. I know I saw a boy, but I never saw him again after that day. Fast forward to this past year, I moved into my old house with my sister-in-law and my brother. One night it was just me and my sister-in-law at home because my brother was out of town for work. She woke up from a nightmare and started explaining it to me. She said that in the dream she was sitting in the living room with me when we heard someone knocking on the door. She went to answer it, and standing there was a little blonde boy. She asked where his parents were and let him inside. As soon as she did, he launched at me and started attacking me. Then she woke up. I knew in my soul that the little boy she was talking about was the same boy I saw in the woods when I was a kid. I don't know how, I just did, so I asked her, was he wearing a light blue shirt and dark pants? She looked at me like I was crazy and said yes. I still don't know how to feel about this. Did that little boy follow my twin brother home all those years ago and just stay? And why is he showing up again now? It doesn't make any sense. That is so scary. I'm getting like teary-eyed because I'm terrified. And like, he attacked you? Oh my god. I would move out. I would not live with my brother after that. He has this little boy attached to him that wants to attack me. That's horrifying. Thank you guys so much for watching. Watch the vlog this coming Tuesday. We will be doing 3 more things to get off of our bucket list, and then 2 weeks after that vlog, we will be uploading the best vlog that I have ever uploaded. I think it's gonna be so much fun. So you just wait for that. Subscribe to Vanessa. She's awesome. Here's her little channel. If you have your own paranormal stories you would like me to read, my subreddit is r/ConjuredJasper, and just write out your story and I will read any that are submitted to there if you have your own. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, please comment down below, and please subscribe. It means the world to me. I appreciate all of you ghosties. Stay spooky.